All right, all right, all right. What's going on, guys? What's happening? I'm excited for this. This is one that I've wanted to do for a little bit now. So hopefully, you guys will enjoy this one too. We've done a Titleist ball fitting. Whoa. Okay. We've done the Titleist ball fitting. Now, we're going to jump in and do another one. I'm just hitting some golf balls here to get loose. I hit a couple here earlier. This is the new club that we picked up last Friday. Haven't really got to work with it on the range, so just hitting a couple balls here to get loose and see what my actual distances are with the club. Because on Friday we were like a lot shorter than I wanted to be with this club. And tonight we are much closer to the numbers that I would expect out of a club that's configured this way. I mean, this is even a little bit probably too far, but it's hard to argue with that. Hard to argue with that. Okay, hit like one or two more here. So I picked this up. This is a Taylormade QI4D Tour 5 wood head. So it's normally 18 degrees. I've got it cranked down to 16, so I want almost like a 4 wood with it, right? So I want like a 270 yard carry is what I'm sort of getting at. And if that's what we get produced from this puppy, oops, and that is perfect. And 269 yards right on the dot is pretty darn good. And I like that draw with it. A nice high draw. Shot shape's relatively consistent. This is good news. I like it. Tomorrow, I get to hit it on the course for the first time. Oh, that's right with a big draw, hopefully. Hey! That's a miss. But that miss doesn't really hurt you. So, all things considered, I love this thing. The ball flight's relatively consistent. The only thing that, it's interesting, it says my expected distance is 293. The only thing that worries me a little bit is spin. Because I'm going to launch this thing high, and with that much spin on it, we run the risk of getting some pretty funky numbers, right? So, but that's fine. I can make do with it. I can learn how to put a better swing on a golf ball, take our spin off, which is a nice little prelude into sort of what we're going to do tonight. So tonight we're going to be looking at two of the more popular golf balls on the market. One that we have played for years and years and years and years. One that is all over the place now, especially with Rory winning the Masters, and that's the TP5. So I've got a fresh sleeve of Pro V1s, a fresh sleeve of TP5s, and we're going to do some testing. So let me just hit a couple more iron shots here just to figure out my life, okay? So I'm just going to pull this back here. Hit a couple more 6 irons. And I think two things are contributing to the larger numbers tonight. One, I actually slept this weekend. And two, it's almost 70 degrees in this garage. So the club head is definitely moving a little bit more than what we've been used to in here. So a couple 6 irons to get loose here. It should be pretty far left. No, not really. But my God. Am I hitting at elevation? It almost feels like we are. Settings. Yes, we are. Okay. Oh. Oh my God. Okay. Oh, that's fantastic. Okay. I was like, Jesus Christmas, the golf ball's flying forever. All right, let's see what a real number is. I forgot we did a challenge on one of the courses at sea level and cranked it up to max. And I thought it would reset when I did the tournament rounds too, so. So let's see if we get some more realistic numbers here. This should be about 200 yards. That's a much better number. I was about to say, guys, I mean, hitting it, and that is interesting because that jacks up my 5-wood numbers. That's actually hilarious. That's actually really funny. Okay, hit a couple more here. Oh, that's thin. I'm trying to, I don't know if shallow is the right word, but I'm trying to get the, I really have not been launching the golf ball. It's been like these, I feel like I'm just stabbing at it the last couple weeks. And when I went to the range, it sort of confirmed that. So we'll see tonight. Oh, that's so bad. Okay, we're gonna do one more practice swing. Then we'll reset everything and get into our test for the night. And when I load in, I need to make sure my elevation is not screwed up again. Okay? Okay. Boy, that's left. Can't be having any of that tonight. Okay, one more swing. I know I said one more like 2 swings ago, but let's try. I feel like I've really been like lunging at it over my front foot, which is no good. Okay. That's the swing we've been looking for. Still a lot of side spin though. But that's a good strike. That's a nice little draw. So it started a little right with some draw, which is just fine. Okay, so let's do this thing. Let me get everything set up here. Wow, I'm glad I had that false confidence at the beginning, too, by the way. Should always check my settings before I load in, especially when I do something dumb like I did last week. So, let me sort of walk you through what we're going to do here. I knew my numbers were juiced, but good Lord. Good Lord. All right. So I'm going to reset the driving range here. I'll sort of show you guys what we have got. All right, so if I go up here to my bag, you can see that we've got clubs that are marked with Taylormade TP5 and some that are marked with Titleist Pro V. So we're going to hit a bunch of shots, we're going to look at some data and sort of go from there, okay? Once we load in here, I will explain to you how we're going to test it, what we have changed from the last time we did this. Let me see, device. I just want to make sure that my settings aren't messed up. So let's load in here. Custom bag. And we are going to start with the Pro V1 pitching wedge. Settings, perfect. We are at the correct elevation. All right, guys. So here's how this is going to work. In the last video that we did this comparison, we did Pro V1, Pro V1X, AVX. So we did 3 different golf balls. We did 8 shots with each, which is a smaller sample size, but we did 3 golf balls and we did pitching wedge, 7-iron, driver. Tonight, the game plan is to go a little bit more with each club, and we're going to add another one. So we're going to do pitching wedge, 7-iron, 5-iron, and driver. 10 shots with each, maybe 8 with the driver. We'll have to see how tired we are by the end of this. But the goal is more shots, more clubs, more data, more comparison, so we can go one ball versus the other. So let me show you what we're working with tonight. I've pre-marked everything. So I've got, if I can get these balls out, I've got a fresh sleeve of TP5s. And a fresh sleeve of Pro Vs. And I'll show you guys how I've got it marked here. If you guys have a SkyTrak or any other front-facing camera-based system, one thing that I've found is marking the golf balls sort of like this. I don't know if you can see that or not. We've got the blue markings on there all around the logo for both the Taylormade and the Pro V. Hard to see for you guys. But what that does is it gives the camera a little bit more on the golf ball to sort of gather the reading. Okay? So we're going to do 10 shots pitching wedge for the Pro V, then the TP5, then with a 7-iron, 5-iron, and then we'll bounce back to the driver at the end. And we'll see what we get. What I am expecting tonight is lower penetrating flight with the Pro V, more spin, maybe a little bit more carry with the TP5 with a steeper descent, right? So I think this is going to be probably closer to the Pro V1X now. But honestly, I have not hit Taylormade golf balls, so I do not know what to expect. So this is going to be a fun one for me. Hopefully you guys enjoy it as well. But with that being said, please, if you guys have questions about the golf balls, if you want to talk about the golf balls that you guys are using, equipment that you've tested, things you want to see tested, let me know, and we can chat about it, because I'm about to go to work and just start cranking out some golf balls here so we get some good data for our test. If we hit some poor shots, I'll chuck them, because I don't want things that are in there that are just blatant mishits to screw up our readings. All right, so for me, we're going to start with a pitching wedge here. Pitching wedge for me is about, we'll say, probably about, on the sim, it's about 143 yard carry, 144. So let's get going. And that's with the Pro Vs. So it is relatively consistent with me for the Pro Vs. And that's what we're going to start with here tonight. One thing, though, that I do want to work on is that crap. That is way too much side spin. And that is a swing flaw. That's a me thing. That 1,000 spin rate left is problematic, guys. Because that's hard to control, especially when you get the wind. Now, if it's consistent, that's one thing, but we do want to try and crank that down a little bit. Boy, that golf ball is so high and so short. That's me trying to take the side spin off, which we didn't. Good Lord, what did we launch that at? 26, okay. Which is interesting. When I first got the sim, so one of the things that I worked on was really trying to get my ball flight down, because with all my clubs, I was like 3 or 4 degrees over what the optimal launch range is. So even though that feels super high, that's technically within range. That's a little bit of a miss, but I feel like the swing-wise, that's closer. So it should be lower, like a degree. By a degree. What's interesting is, I think one thing that we will see when we get to the TP5, especially with the 7-iron and the 5-iron, is you will see a much longer ball flight. Oh, that is a bad strike there, guys. That is not a good strike. I might chuck that puppy right out because that's going to screw up some numbers. We don't want to have anything that we like blatantly mishit. I kind of want to throw out, right? Because it's an outlier. It's going to put some poor data in our test. We don't really want that. We want like 10 crispy shots. So sadly, I'm going to be hitting a lot of golf balls tonight. A lot of golf balls. That's the one we've been looking for. Wowzers, though, that's left. Contact was great, but we pulled that puppy 14 yards offline. I mean, the positive is it's consistent, but we are way underneath the line, which is generating that side spin. We're under the plane and have a closed face, so let's make a small adjustment here. Get a little bit more upright. That should be much less side spin, much shorter ball flight. It might be a little bit shorter, but swing was closer. I have to leave that one in, unfortunately, because I didn't hit it that bad. I did not hit it that bad. But it is definitely an outlier in terms of the distance. There we go. It's a little bit closer. Probably a little less on the side spin, but still a decent amount. Yeah, 1200. Ooh. Man, guys. If I'm spinning it this much with a Pro V, I'm a little bit nervous about the TP5. Now, one thing I'll say is that side spin there, that has nothing to do with the golf ball. That has to do with my swing, where my path is, where my club face is, and all of those things. That's a good one there. Better strike at least. In terms of the side spin. Much more controlled golf ball. A little bit lower. Still, I mean, almost 10,000 on the spin. We got 9,200, right? Which is way, way up there. Which again, for us is not all that unexpected. We hit the ball with a lot of spin. A lot of spin. That one I don't necessarily agree with, but that's okay. Holy spin. Ooh, yikes. At least it's consistent one way, right? What is that, a closed club face? Yeah, it says our club face is massively closed coming through the zone. Okay. So, our numbers with the Titleist are going to be left. We're going to have lots of side spin on it. our dispersion is not going to be nearly as tight as the last time we did this, but that's okay. We're human. And see, it's going to be a better result in terms of the line. But in all honesty, that strike just felt kind of gross, right? Kind of gross on that one. All right, so this is going to be 10 out of 10, and we're going to switch over golf balls here. So in terms of our ball striking, it's a little bit subpar at the moment, but that's okay. It is consistent. So at the very least, we can bank on that. It's a better strike of the golf ball there. That's probably closer to what we want. There we go, right at that 141, 142, 143 range, which is what we are sort of expecting. Okay, now I get to hit a Taylormade golf ball for the first time. Well, it's not the first time, but it is the first time in a very long time. I hit TP5s in, when was that, 2023? I had a really good deal. I was working at Golf Galaxy at the time in high school, and Taylormade had a kick-ass deal for Golf Galaxy, and I bought, I think, 10 dozen before I went down and played on the mini tours. They ended up being my practice ball. Titleist sent me some golf balls for free, and at the time, the Taylormade balls were wildly spinny for me. Like, I could not control them. We had big time problems. So let's see here, guys. We're going to do 10 shots with the TP5 and a pitching wedge. Let's see what kind of ball flight we get with this guy. Well, it felt nice. I can say that much. Probably doesn't help that that was my best swing of the night. Absolutely my best spin, but I'm not surprised with the first swing there. You look at that spin number, I don't think we've sniffed that number yet. We were almost at 10K there, first swing out the bat, or out the gate, whatever the heck I'm trying to say here. It does feel very nice though. I will say that. I was expecting the golf ball to feel a lot softer. It actually has a pretty good little click to it, which is nice. But yeah, I mean, first two swings are good. And to be fair, those were both good swings. Side spin on that one's a little bit up, but 4 yards offline. But not too shabby. Oh boy, we got work messages going on. It's far too late for that, guys. That's going to be left. See ya. Surprising, that golf ball didn't carry a little bit further, but it's all right. It does feel nice. It is spinny. Again, the pitching wedge, maybe a little bit higher on the spin is what I'm expecting. But what I'm curious to see is when you get into the longer irons, the performance there. Because I feel like when you're talking about tour pros and guys that play super firm greens, that's where these golf balls really shine. Because when you're hitting into greens as firm as PGA Tour pros are, you need some height. You need that golf ball to come down nice and soft. And when you're generating this much spin with a golf ball, it really helps you to be able to do that, right? So the descent angles, I think every one has been over 50. Launch angles are about the same. it's that extra 300 to 400 spin that we're seeing on each one of these that's really driving that thing to come in super high and soft on the descent, which means with wedges, we would rip these puppies off the green. Smidge thin. Still a pretty good result. A little bit shorter. 9,800 on the spin. I hit Taylormade's back in 2013 for like a brief five-month stint, but I have not picked up a Taylormade since. The only golf ball that I really actually am keen to try are the Chromes. I have not hit a Callaway golf ball since like the Hex Tour way back in the day, but I've been a Pro V guy my whole life. That might be a tosser. Hit that one a little bit fat. That's going to skew our numbers. Yes, that is a bad strike. Pitch that puppy out. But yeah, so I've been, so in high school we got free golf balls. And they were Pro Vs. And that effectively was like my gateway drug into golf balls. Before that I played like the NXT tours and all that kind of stuff. Because I wasn't that good of a junior golfer. It was more like a recreational thing for me. That puppy's left. But yeah, so high school and college I got free Pro Vs. So I hit Pro Vs. Right? I didn't have any money. I wasn't going to spend any money on golf balls. So that's where we just sort of lived, right? At least the one nice thing about this tonight is this is going to be an excellent range session. We're going to hit a lot of golf shots. In terms of the feel, the golf ball feels really nice. It feels solid. It doesn't feel super soft, which I thought that it would. So that's good. I like this golf ball. Now, where I think I would have problems with it, I think for long irons it's going to be really slick. But I think I'm going to run into problems with the driver, and I know I would have problems with the wedges. Because we already spin wedges out the gym. And I can't be ripping balls off the front of the green every time I get a wedge in my hand. Because that's the problem for me is I'm not playing on PGA Tour courses. They're not nearly as firm as PGA Tour courses. So therefore, when we've got softer greens, typically on all these courses, they're, back to front sloping. My wedges are hitting like super firm and just zipping back off the front, which is why I like the Pro V, because I can drive it in, have it take a nice big hop and then stop. Every other golf ball seems to do the opposite for me. All right, what do we got? Two more here with this one. I almost shanked that. I hope that doesn't read. It does not. Beautiful. I don't even have to go back and hit delete. Because that ball, that was terrible. All right. Two more here with pitching wedge. And we'll get on to the 7-iron. That golf ball is moving left hard. Oh, I felt that puppy off the face. A little extra juice with the pole. I think our dispersion circles are going to be pretty similar, but yeah. All right, last one here with the pitching wedge, and we are going to move back. Okay, we're consistent at least. We're consistent. All right, so 7-iron is up next. Pitching wedge is done and dusted. Boy, are we really messaging about work this late at night, guys? Or my watch just died on me, one of the two. No, we're messaging about work. Okay, so 7-iron for me. On course, 180 yards is a good stock pitching wedge for us. 7-iron with the Pro V1. Here we carry it on the sim, probably like 182, 183. Okay. So, again, spin will be towards the upper end of the range. But here we go. So we'll hit some 7-irons with both balls here and see how they do. I'm expecting, again, a bigger descent angle, more spin with the TP5. Okay. So here we go, 7-iron time. That's about as good as I can hit 7-iron, if I'm being honest with you. 178. Again, even with the Pro V, we're above the higher range of spin. That was a higher one, so here we go. I have a feeling that golf ball's left. I smushed the crap out of it. That golf ball's really going to carry. Yeah. It's a little bit too much, and there's that side spin. What is it? Is it closed club face? It's definitely a closed club face. I don't know what the hell we're doing with our club face. We have a complete lack of awareness apparently tonight. That's okay. I do have a tendency to shut my club face even at address. Yuck. That is not going to be a pleasant ball flight to look at. I apologize. Might want to hide your kids on that one. That was even worse. Okay. We're learning some things about our golf swing tonight. The fact that we were way under the line with a shut club face is not a recipe for getting the golf ball going straight. So here we go. It felt really nice, but boy, we got the case of the lefts tonight. We got the case of the lefties. At least it's, I mean, again, if you're playing it on the golf course and you see yourself doing this on the range, not that it's the best technique in the world, but I would be playing a 10-yard draw. Because clearly that golf ball is moving left tonight. Okay? So, let's hit a good one here. I really tried to hold the face on that. Like that's me trying to almost hit like a dead straight or like a block cut. And it still just moved big time right to left. Like you even see it on my, my club path there. 4 degrees under the line. Okay. All right, so we are halfway through the Titleist numbers here. So let's get going. My grip is always super strong. We've never had a problem with that. Well, I don't say never, but. Hey. It's not going to be anywhere close to the distance because of the club face. Hi. Ho, ho, ho. 7,300 on the spin. Boy, oh boy. That's an interesting strike. Okay. That one felt pretty darn good. Wow. Still got it moving pretty good left though. 13 yards. I mean, again, if you're on a golf course, you live with it. And our divots are definitely going right. Okay. What do we got? We got 3 left here with the Pro V before we move on. All right. 3 more with the Pro V. That one was hit nice, but big old draw yet again. Holy shit, that golf ball flew. Isn't that crazy though, right there? So like the difference between that one and the other ones wasn't the launch angle, it's the spin. I took like 800 off the spin and that golf ball flew another 7-8 yards. Okay? Like that's literally what that was. There was nothing else really too different about the strike and all the other numbers. But the spin was much lower. Okay. That one's going to have much higher spin. Okay. But she was right down Broadway. And that was pretty nice. Okay, last one with the Pro V. And again, my numbers today, I'm a little bit more loose in terms of our general dispersion compared to where we were when we did this test last time. When we did the test last time, we were like with every single golf ball we hit. So here we go. Final Pro V 7-iron. And holy shit, that ball is moving left. Oof. Well, folks, a little bit scary. Okay, I'm going to take a quick soda break here. Get a little bit of our favorite liquid in us. And then we're going to move on to the next one. I'll tell you what, 99 swing speed with the 7-iron feels pretty high, doesn't it? I don't know what tour average is, but I mean, swing speed has never been our problem. Hitting the golf ball has never been our problem. It's the left and right stuff that's got us into problems, or into trouble. "20 yards offline though. Yikes. That's no bueno. All right, here. So, well, I'll tell you what. This is a very old Taylormade glove that I got way back in the day. This thing I mean, you've got to almost try to rip it. I mean, we have hit so many golf balls, sweated like a donkey in here, and it's been pretty good. Okay. We do have the TP5 7-iron, right? Yes, we got the right club selected. What I am expecting here is probably around like 6,800 on our spin, right? And that the scent angle is going to be probably north of 50 almost every time. If I've got a pretty good beat on this golf ball, and we'll find out here in a second. Okay. So 7-iron TP5, here we go. Oh, that's going to be tossed right off the gate. Hit that off the toe. I cannot have that one in there. That will skew our numbers significantly, but holy shit. I mean, a toe ball that generated 7,000 spin. Okay. All right, reset. Get ourselves sorted here and go. So 7-iron. Ooh, that was hit nice. That was hit really nice. Holy spin though, Jesus. 7,200. 7,200 is really high. Okay. It's a good ball flight, a little bit more piercing, but may have hit it a smidge high on the face. 7,000 again. 7,000 again. Okay. Lower launch on that one too, I think. Okay. Go again. The ball was hit good. Maybe a smidge of a block, but not a bad swing. There's that 6,800 number. And I think that's what I would expect to see. Do you guys recall what we were seeing for ball speeds? That's another one that I'm kind of keen on too, is do these balls jump compared to the Pro V? So that's something you don't get to, you don't really feel that on the range. I mean, you can feel it to an extent, but ooh, that ball was nice. That was our best 7-iron of the night. Without question. Without question, that was our best 7-iron of the night. We got up to 130 on the ball speed. So that's the one thing I will say that it's a little bit problematic with a test like this. And you're dealing with a human, not a robot. I'm not perfect. Am I starting to get in a little bit of a groove now? Seems like it after those last two. But we'll keep it going here. That one felt good again. Our dispersion is much tighter with this golf ball. We're making a lot better swings. Okay? And I know that because look at our side spin numbers. Look at the ball flight there, the last 5. It's pretty darn nice. But see how we're under the line and our club face is actually open. So in terms of our relative path, like it's really not that bad, right? So like we're only almost like a half degree there shut, which is why the golf ball is drawing back over and starting right, whereas opposed to like we were closed to the target and getting 1200 spin left with the Titleist golf ball. So let's hit a couple more here. Not my favorite strike. Not my favorite strike, but ended up perfectly fine. A little bit thin, and that's, you can see at the ball speed there, dropped about 4 to 5 miles an hour, but she's right on the line. So that's never going to get you in trouble. Okay, what do we got? 4 more here. Ooh. Ooh, hoo, hoo. That is the best one of the night. 185. I mean, we are, I guarantee you our smash factor with these TaylorMades is better. But that being said, I mean, regardless of TaylorMade or Titleist, these last couple shots with the TaylorMade have felt incredible. Like, they have felt really, really nice. Like, we have hit some really nice shots with these things. So, all right, 3 more. Should be a little bit, oh, it's fine. Okay. Again, good swing. Good swing. 130 on our ball speed. I'm really curious to see what this looks like. I'm hoping now that it looks like I've found a golf swing here in the last 5 or 6 shots. I'm hoping that transitions into the 5-iron and we get a really good comparison when we're looking at the long irons. Ooh, that's good. That is good. All right. Ooh, 7,200 on the spin. Okay. All right, last one here. And then we go to 5-iron with the Pro V. Boy, it feels nice to be sweating in the garage, honestly, guys. All right, here we go. Last one with the TP5 here. Missed that one just a hair. Just a hair. A little bit of a block. Okay. So, the dispersion with that club, I mean, I don't even have to look at the two side by side. We hit some much better shots with the TP5. And the TP5 feels, and I said this at the beginning with the pitching wedge, I was pleasantly surprised. It feels really solid. It doesn't feel soft. It doesn't feel squishy. Like, it feels really good. It actually feels like it's got some good jump off the face when we're compressing it. So, with that being said, let's see if I can carry over some of those swings here with the Pro V1 and a 5-iron. So we're going to do, this is where I think, now, I might be wrong in saying this. This is where I think the Pro V1 and the TP5 will be pretty noticeable in terms of the difference, in terms of the descent angle and the spin. This is I think it's more of an academic exercise, Zajac. Like if you had to ask me what I would do on a golf course today, it depends on where I'm playing, right? So if I'm playing a golf course that is super, super firm, I mean like tour level firmness, I probably go Pro V1X. right? Or the spinnier of the golf balls. And on a normal course, day in, day out, Pro V1. I'm not opposed to switching golf balls at all, especially if I'm getting like noticeably better numbers. And for me, where I think you'll be able to see is like on the driver. So one thing that I have noticed a little bit here is I have hit driver on this exact driver on a SkyTrak, on a Flight Scope, and on a TrackMan. SkyTrak, the numbers seem a little bit lower in terms of the spin. So like I hit it, literally I went and hit it on the Flight Scope. I was getting like 2,000, 2,200 on spin. Came home like 17, 1,800 on SkyTrak. So I would think that what's going to be interesting is I think with driver and the TP5, I think it's going to be like unbelievably optimized when I'm hitting it here on the SkyTrak. So we will find out. But here we go. We're going to go 5-iron, 10 shots each. I think the Pro Vs will be a little bit more penetrating in terms of their ball flight. We'll see. That ball's hit pretty good. Oh boy. That is a big old carry though. Holy shit, 211. I didn't think I had that in the bag, folks. That is rather long. Normally we see these things like 200, 205. 211 is rather deep for a 5-iron for me. That one's hit very well. Golf ball's on the loose. 210. Okay. Spin numbers are actually a little bit lower than I thought they would be, even with the Pro V. So that is a very high launch with low spin, which is why that golf ball is just flying. Okay. That ball's left. Or not. Maybe I've just got my swing dialed in a little bit now. Ooh. Boy. One thing I will say too, and in terms of my golf bag, and you look at like the progression of how I strike golf balls, I am extremely comfortable with long irons. Like my 5 and my 6-iron, like no joke, I probably hit closer than my 9 and my 8. Like I've got these clubs working the way they want, and I do think that I probably need to go to a cavity back across the board. I'm just not good enough anymore to hit blades throughout the golf bag. That's left. Or it's going to have a little bit more side spin on it, I think. Holy shit, the golf ball is zooming. So, in terms of the ball speed that we've seen here so far, 138, 139 seems to be the number with the 5-iron. So we'll have to keep that in mind when we switch over to the TP5. All right. But you see what I mean? Like the pitching wedge, we were going like 20 yards offline. And with our 5-iron here, we're like 5, 6. Even when we feel like I pulled that one, right? So here we go. Moving right along. There's a little bit more of a left ball. I definitely missed that one a little bit. Okay. It's a Taylormade. Switch out the golf ball every once in a while, give the golf balls a break. One thing that I have noticed is if you're hitting golf ball after golf ball after golf ball into a net or a screen, you will break golf balls. I broke a bunch of golf balls very early on in the process, and since I've cycled the golf balls, I don't run into that problem nearly as much. Might be a smidge right. And I said a smidge, not a ton, but I did feel a little bit right on that. And that was spinnier, which is why it did not fly. Okay. All right, we got 4 more here with the Titleist. And then we will move on to the TP5. But our swing has definitely gotten a little bit more tight. Really started dispersion here. Oh yeah. Golf balls hit pretty good. 206, and that's about our normal. I would say that is a normal carry number for our 5-iron. Okay, and that makes sense because the spin numbers got up a little bit higher. So that one looks pretty good. Like that to me feels like a nice 5-iron. Okay. Okay, 3 more here. That golf ball was hit really hard. That golf ball was pumped. Yeah, I'm not surprised by that one. A little bit lower on the flight, lower on the spin. Which night was that? Oh, was this a couple nights ago? Dude, there have been some of these nights where I play like late into the evening and I'm just so tired, right? Like after hitting a couple hundred golf balls out here and like just yapping all night, like I get exhausted. Especially if I didn't get any sleep the night before, which was the case at least the last couple of weeks, man. I think that's going to be left on me. Yep, there she goes. Shut the club face down. Absolutely did. It's still pumped. Oh, the crack golf balls? Yeah. I'd sit there and I'd put like a 116, 117 mile an hour swing on it, and the ball speed comes out at like 148. It's like, I hit that on the screws. I don't know why it does that. And then I look down, I got a big old crack in the middle of my ball. And that sort of explains everything. So here we go, last one with the Pro V. That was hit pretty good. I like that golf ball. I like that one. Okay. 140 on the ball speed, 104 on the swing speed. We're definitely moving the golf club tonight, guys. Hopefully I don't run out of juice by the time we get to driver. I would love to see like 118 on the drivers tonight. Okay, again, I'm gonna take a quick like 2-minute reprieve here just to reset my body. So we just bashed 50 golf balls in a row there. How many golf balls are in a large bucket? They advertise like 50? It feels like I've hit about a large bucket tonight. And I did hit a couple before the stream too, just to get loose. So we're probably up close to like 70 golf balls in the night total. 50 in our test. Got another 30 to go. Now the problem for me is I've been hitting my driver like shit. Right, like I have not been hitting it good. Jumbo. Where the hell is a jumbo bucket? Is that like 2 tokens? Because here it's like a large bucket is 2 tokens. I guess a large bucket, 70 balls makes sense, right? All right. So, let me make sure I just got the club set up right here, guys. So the swing is starting to feel pretty dialed, which is a good thing. So hopefully, this is a good test. I think the one thing I will say, the 7-iron for the Pro V, the pitching wedge for the Pro V, I did not hit them good. The 5-iron there for the Pro V, I absolutely hit good. So a couple things that I'm going to be keeping an eye on here for the TP5. We'll look at the ball speed is one, descent angle, and the spin. I would think for the spin, you're going to see it up towards the top end of that range on almost all of these. That's my prediction. But again, I'm not very smart, so we will see. Boy, that does feel nice though, man. I got to give it to Taylormade. That feels really good. That feels really, really good. Like really good. I was not expecting that. I don't know why. I mean, there's so many guys on tour playing these golf balls. It's not like they're going to feel like shit. But yeah, I mean, that feels really, really nice. It feels solid as hell. It's a nice little click off the face too, which I'm pleasantly surprised with. Like it feels unbelievable off the face. Feels unbelievable off the face. So far, I mean, through 2 swings, right around the same. Honest to God, the ball speed's staying up, even though the swing speed's like 1 or 2 down. So one thing to keep an eye on in terms of golf ball performance and golfer performance is the smash factor, right? So the smash factor is the ratio between ball speed and club head speed. The higher the smash, the more optimized, right? So those two, I feel like the smash were higher than the Pro Vs. That might be left on me. Definitely felt like I overdrew it a little bit. Not a ton. Not a ton. But, yeah, I mean, smash of 1.4, which with a 5-iron is pretty darn solid. And that spin is pretty darn consistent. The swings have been consistent. So we'll see. I am playing tomorrow, so depending on how tonight goes, I might screw around with a different golf ball out on the course. Ah, I don't love that one. I don't love that one. But still, yet again, 138 on the smash. Spin is very consistent. The golf balls are consistent, or at least in terms of the performance, bang on, which, again, when you're spending $50, $60 a dozen, they should be, right? So here we go. That's a good swing there. It's a good swing there. Okay. All right. 5 more here. And then we get to play with the favorite club in the bag. And again, like a 10-yard draw with a 5-iron, that's really never going to hurt you. Like if you miss 30 feet left from 210 yards, anybody and their mother would take that. Nope. That might be a toss away there, folks. Yeah. That one we will not leave in the test. That was a me problem. That ball was fat and off the toe. But in all honesty, it really did okay. It did okay in the grand scheme of things there. But I will throw it out just because I feel like that will skew the numbers a little bit in terms of the distance and the ball speed. That one felt nice. Ooh. Left the face open a smidge. Spin should be pretty high. Yeah, just outside the range. Didn't feel like a bad strike, in all honesty. But SkyTrak says otherwise. We left that one out to the right. We definitely lost some distance. Excuse me. 4 more swings here with the 5-iron. That one felt nice. It is funny though how we're getting further away from the target here, or from where we're hitting, and my dispersion's getting tighter. Like watch this next golf ball when it flies over these, the first two. Our swing has definitely gotten more dialed as we go. Like the circles are getting smaller and smaller as we get further away from us. Which is not the way golf is supposed to work, but it does for us tonight. 3 more. That was ripped. That ball was ripped. Yeah, 213 on the carry. That might be our biggest one. And 141 with the ball speed. I mean, in all honesty, performance with this club, this thing's pretty dialed, and it's definitely got more spin. I would be shocked if this has a less average spin than the Pro V. It's got to be more. I mean, these balls have been consistent in terms of the swings, and I feel like we're just getting a little bit higher spin, which is what I would expect. The golf ball will land much softer with these compared to the Pro V1. Which would make the golf ball land softer on the green. Now, for most recreational golfers, and definitely myself going out and playing like a municipal golf course up here, I don't really need it to land all that soft. Maybe in the summertime, right when it's getting a little firm. Boy, what happened on that one? Might have been a slight mishit. We might have hit that one a smidge on the groove or two high. His ball speed was definitely down. But you know, there's definitely advantages to hitting it higher and softer with the long iron. Right, but up here when I play, I don't have a lot of these clubs into a green. Oh, I might have to pitch that one out, guys. I will toss that one. That one's going to have some, I think it's going to be a very high spin number, very high launch. Yeah, no, we got to get, that's not a good one to throw into the mix here. That's human error there. We left the club face open a little bit too much on that puppy. I don't want something like that to skew my numbers big time in terms of we're not comparing golf swings here, we're trying to compare golf ball. So we want as consistent of swings as possible. That's more like it. All right. Now we get to do the fun stuff. We get to put these little clubs away and we get to pull out the monster. Okay? I am going to take like 2.5 minutes here to reset, catch my breath, slow the heart rate down, because I'm about to hit 20 drivers in a row, which I don't do very often. I think when I went and got fit for my my fairway wood, they actually tested shafts in my driver, and I think I hit like 65 drivers in a row. You want to talk about tired. Because I'm sitting there just like cranking at 120, 122. And by the end of it, it's like 114, 115. And it's like, no shit, we got tired. I got a little bit fatigued. But yeah, I'm willing to bet, and I would not be surprised. Distance-wise, I don't think it's going to beat the Pro V. But I honestly think I enjoy the performance of the TP5s when we're looking at the 5-iron. Like I think it outperformed the Pro V, not based off of distance, but in terms of which golf ball I'd rather be hitting into a green from 205 yards, I think I would take the TP5. Which doesn't surprise me. I think I would rather take the Pro V1X over the Pro V1, right? What I really, and we're talking about like why I play a certain golf ball versus another, is for what do I have the majority of the time when I'm playing golf, right? I love to hit driver. I love to hit my 2-iron. I want low spin. I want that golf ball to just frickin' be a missile straight, like straight line. I don't want spinny balls that get up in the air and get caught up in the wind and stuff like that, which is why I play the less spinny, more firm golf ball in the Pro V1. And then with wedges, I can flight a Pro V1 a whole lot better than I can a Pro V1X, or what I would think I'd be able to flight a TP5, right? I would love to be able to just like go out to an actual range on an actual green and hit TP5s versus a Pro V1X or a Pro V1 to see how they perform, like in terms of spin on an actual green, etc. There's not too many of those places around here that I can do that. And if I hit a ton of wedges into the net here, I'm gonna rip apart golf balls. Like I will destroy golf balls. So therefore, that's why we're not hitting our 58, 54, and 50 in this type of test. What I know will happen though, just based off of what the pitching wedge was doing, we would see some crazy spin numbers with the TP5. Now, this one, when we're hitting driver, what I will say is, my driver has been a little bit of a loose cannon, okay? You know, it's not really it's not a par 3 course per se, but it's a short, like executive course. And so there's a couple shots there where I'd definitely be hitting wedges, and I could set it up where like I hit my approach shot to like 75 yards and play from there. The problem is, it is so unbelievably busy. Like I would not be able to like drop, I would feel really bad dropping like 4 or 5 golf balls on a hole and testing it out, you know what I mean? Tomorrow might be interesting though. I don't think I'm gonna see a ton of people on the course. I am gonna bring the TP5 out there, and I'm gonna see if I can get some side-by-side comparisons with driver, and if I do, I'd like to do it with wedge too. And I might include it, so I'll cut up this video, make a shortened version of it, because nobody's gonna wanna sit here and probably watch an hour and 15 minutes of me jawing off. People probably more care about the numbers. But I would like to see how it compares on the course. Okay, driver. Okay, ball speed's going to be anywhere between 170 and 175. Spin with the Pro V is typically sub 2000. Okay, at least on this device. I would expect the TP5 to be in like the 2200 range in terms of our spin, and it's probably going to be wildly optimized for simulator play. So let's go ahead and take a look here. Let's see what we got in the tank this evening. That's actually not a horrible start, guys, with the Pro V. A little short, but that's okay. And it was high on the spin. Ooh, boy. So we missed that one. A little thin. Little thin. That is a lot of spin for us with driver. Okay. Let's just try and rip some golf balls here and have some fun. That golf ball was hit hard. That golf ball was hit very hard. That's a much better golf ball than that last one, I can tell you that much. Yeah, we got another, what, 20 yards on it? Yeah, that ball was nice. That ball was nice. Where has that been these last couple weeks? We even got the 118 on the swing speed. Okie dokie. A little toey. Ball's gonna go left hard. That, guys, that is what we've been seeing in recent days with the old driver. And again, there's that low spin. No surprise there. Okay. All right. I'll tell you what, something is therapeutic about just taking driver and smashing it over and over and over again. Okay. I like that flight right there. That's what I would like to see with driver. Nice little draw, carried about 300. It's perfect, absolutely perfect, right? And you can tell, when we talked about that smash number earlier, I think the first three were in like the 145, 147 range. That one was 151, right? So we hit that golf ball much more solid, which is why it carried further even with a lesser swing speed. Okay. Oh, that's not going to be a pretty golf flight. That might be a toss. I think we're going to throw that one out. That's not going to be a fun one to look at in terms of if you want to compare golf balls. That would be an outlier. That would be an outlier for sure. So I think when we did the other test, we hit 5 drivers, which I don't think is a big enough sample size. I think you need to get 8 to 10 to have it be a good number and a good test. And they all need to be good, right? It's going to have super low spin on it. It'll roll forever. But that one, like that's the one that I think that gets me in trouble, especially with the Pro V1, is, and I'm curious how the Taylormade will do when we hit one like that, because while that is a bullet and doesn't really get you in trouble on the golf course, I mean, I lost a significant amount of carry because the golf ball had no spin on it. It was definitely on the top of the face, but I mean, again, it doesn't really get you in trouble unless you're playing a super soft golf course. Ooh, that's a big old draw. Actually, that's borderline hook. That is a hook. Okay. Hey. Ooh. Low on the little swing speed there. Okay. All right, reset here for a second. Just over halfway through the Pro Vs. I mean, 26 yards offline too. Yes, that will definitely get you in trouble, but I mean, it's probably between the tree line, right? If you're talking about most public golf courses. That's a shitty swing. That's a shitty swing. Result will be fine, but the contact was absolutely suboptimal. Yeah, 3,300 spin with a Pro V. That puppy a little bit thin. Little bit thin. I'm like half tempted to chuck that one. But if we've seen anything, I have a feeling we're going to do that with the TP5 too. So leave it. That one's getting tossed. Good, it didn't read. That was not the best, guys. This is the one thing that worries me about hitting 20 drivers after we've just hit 60 golf balls is fatigue. Okay? So, we need to just slow it down, put some good swings on it, and make sure we try and stay as consistent as possible for this test. That's going to be left. Didn't really drift left as much as I thought it would. I think it's going to be a little bit high on the spin though. Yeah, 3,100. 3,100 is very high on the spin, which means we're just missing the golf ball a little bit. That's okay. I mean, part of testing these things is seeing how the mishits perform as well, right? Because I am not Rory McIlroy. I'm not finding the center of the club face every time. That should be a power cut, which it is. Is it the best? No. But again, like when you're playing on a golf course, the only time that one gets you in trouble, guys, is if you are playing a draw, which we normally do. So that's the golf ball that really gets us in trouble when we go out and play. All right. This is our last ball with the Pro V. I'm going to try and crank it up and send this puppy off the back of the range, which I won't, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try and swing hard here. Give this one a proper send-off for our last ball with the Titleist. That ball was definitely hit hard, but the ball flight is really shitty. it was a miss. But to preserve my back and to preserve my sanity, we leave it. Our dispersion there with driver, I'll be honest, was pretty crummy. We had a lot of golf balls wildly off target, which is kind of how we've been hitting it. And that has been our core issue, I would say. At least like we're going in and playing in these virtual tournaments, etc. We've gotten a little bit loose with our driver, and it has hurt us on occasions, right? Like balls in the hazard, balls in trees when we're trying to go at par fives. On the golf course, this thing is very, very consistent. And here, I think it's just I'm playing 54 holes a night, I get tired. All right, 10 swings with the TP5. I would expect to see some higher spin numbers, but let's take a look at that ball speed, see how it's jumping. We'll see how it feels off the face, and then we'll go over all of our data. That's a miss. That's a miss. That one's going to be chucked. That ball was wildly off the toe, but it did, and it went pretty darn far for being off the toe. Let's get rid of it. I mean, in terms of a miss hit, guys, that's actually pretty freaking good. And it actually had a lot less side spin on it than I thought it would. But let's go again. Okay? All right, let's get some good numbers here. She didn't read. Come on now. I can't. I don't have too much left in the tank this evening. All right. Zajac, if you're still around, I wouldn't mind a par 3 course after this. Okay? If you've got one in mind or one you think that we should show off. That ball is going to have a lot of spin on it, I feel like. Oh yeah, that ball is spinny. Spinny, spinny, spinny. Yeah, so for reference, I think our spinny shots with the Pro V was, what do we say, 3,100? Or something like that. That was 3,500. Now, dead straight, which is a nice big plus. I'd like to hit one in the center of the club face so I can see what it actually feels like. That's closer. Still a little bit spinny. Ooh, really spinny. Yeah, kind of checks out. I mean, granted, don't get me wrong, guys. That was not, neither one of those strikes was perfect. But they're both very straight, which is a nice positive. I would like to find the center of the club face here. We have not found it yet. I don't know what the center of the club face feels like at the moment. Oh, spinny again. That is my one concern with a non-Pro V. Now, granted, our swing, we are getting tired. These swings are not perfect. Okay, and I'll do par 3 tees too. Doesn't have to be a true par 3 course. That was better. That was a better strike. It's going to be much lower on the spin. Yeah, it it was lower. Smash factor was great. By the way, 151. Anything over 1.5 is considered like super dialed. So let's keep going. Oh yeah. That golf ball is humming. That golf ball is humming. Yeah, 152 on the smash. Okay. That golf ball was hit pretty good, guys. That was hit pretty good. A little lower on the spin, which, I mean, it was a much, in my mind, that was a much better strike of the golf ball. So, which is why it went a little bit further. All right. There we go. There we go. That's a better strike. Nice carry too. Spin. Good, 118 on swing speed. Go figure, when we swing harder, we don't make better contact. Let that be a lesson for people when they're hitting driver, including myself. Harder doesn't mean better. Better contact means better, right? Okay, 4 more swings here. It's going to be hit hard again. It's a nice bullet. Not the straightest of golf balls, but it was hit hard. That's for darn sure. Yep, 149. Okay. A little power fade on that one. What's interesting though is when we go out to the golf course, I hit big old draws with a driver. And I can control it pretty well. So, all right, let's go. Well, we got 3 more. No, Tommy. You want to talk about spinny. This puppy might have like 4,000 on the spin rate. Oh. Oh, no. I'm chucking that one. That is, I felt that puppy right off the club face. That was gonna be a terrible swing no matter what. Let's do Spanish Bay. We'll do Spanish Bay par 3 course after this and see where that leads us. All right, come on. Buckle up and hit some good swings. That's better. Whoa. That's the problem, is it felt better, but I would argue that is not better. It may have felt like a better swing, but in terms of results, guys, 46 yards left. Now we're not talking between the tree lines, we're talking about out of bounds. Okay, 2 swings left. Let's make these some good ones, okay? Let's pummel this golf ball and hit it good and long and straight and optimized. It's not asking much, is it? Oh, kind of like that. That was one of our better driver swings of the night, without a doubt. Yeah, that's our furthest one. I think that was our furthest drive. That ball was I mean, that ball was on a freaking rope, man. 300 carry, low spin, good smash, 175 on the ball speed. And it doesn't matter what golf ball we're hitting there, that is a good swing. Let's do that again. I don't know how I did it, but let's try and replicate it. I think that's going to be left. Yeah. Although it's not a bad swing. Not a bad swing at all. 303 on the carry. Okay. I mean, one thing that I will say, all right, so let me put all this stuff away, get my glove set up here so it dries out a little bit. Holy shit, I'm gonna be sore in the morning, guys. I'm gonna be sore in the morning. Those last two driver swings were money. Absolute money. Like that ball flight there, that's what I normally see on a golf course with driver. Now, distance, you can throw it out the window, but in terms of like a high draw, right? And it doesn't start right, it's more of like a pull draw. That is very normal for me. Now, we get to do the fun stuff. Now we get to look at the numbers, okay? So, I forget if we do this here. I don't think we do. No, let's go back here. Let's exit out. That concludes the test. Let me change this up a little bit. Yeah, this is good here. Now, let us go and look at our history. There's our 80 shots. Boy, that's a lot of shots. All right, so let me just deselect all these other ones down here. We will work our way through the various, let's see. Oh, God, our dispersion was terrible tonight. All right, deselect, deselect. We got a lot of stuff to look at here. It's crazy, my dispersion is better with the 5-iron than my 7-iron, and is it better? No, it's probably better than my Pro V here. Oops. All right, so let's look at it. What color is what here? Let's see. White is the Pro V. Orange is the TP5. I mean, pretty darn consistent, right? If anything, just by looking at the chart here, I've got the TP5 maybe a little bit consistently higher, right? So I'd probably think a little bit more spin. In terms of the distance, they're pretty comparable. Looks like our furthest two were the Pro V. Makes a little bit of sense. Ball's not, when it gets to the apex, it's falling more gently out of the sky, whereas it's like penetrating a little bit more. The TP5 is falling gently with a little bit more backspin. My dispersion here was terrible with both clubs. We hit them both pretty poorly. But let's look at the numbers here and take a look. All right, so if we're looking at averages, all right, so at least the side spin was comparable. So we can say, and the offline part, both of those were very, very similar, so that's a good thing. Ball speed, faster with the TP5 by 2 miles an hour. So we were at 113 average with the TP5, 111 with the Pro V. Launch angles, both of them 24 degrees, which is great. That means they're launching the same height. The difference is the spin. Pro V1s were averaging about 9,000, which again is so freaking high. 9,400 with the TP5, right? So I think that would be like, in terms of my beef with a spinnier golf ball like a TP5 or a Pro V1X, whichever one we're talking about. And I know they've got the TP5X, which I may try as well. That's a ton of spin, right? And if you're playing in the wind or you're playing soft greens, that TP5 is going to rip off the green for me, like big time. What else do we see here? Side spins, everything's fine. Carry actually 1 more yard, but I mean, again, with 2 miles an hour more, you'd expect a little bit more carry, but the spin sort of negates that. Descent angle, surprisingly, they're both about the same. Height, a little bit higher with the TP5, that's more spin. Club head speed, which is nice. This is what's nice about it is the club head speed was the same, but the ball was jumping off the face with the TP5. One thing I will say that I'm like pleasantly surprised with across the board with the TP5 is it felt like it had some serious life off the club face. Like it felt like in terms of the compression, it definitely was not as difficult to compress as the Pro V, which is where like, again, same swing speeds, get a little extra miles per hour on it, which is nice. But if anything here, I mean, for me, I think Pro V I still prefer here just because of the sheer spin. Like another 500 average on the spin is a little bit scary. And that's a me problem, not a golf ball problem. So let's go down here to the 7-iron. One thing I will say is, all right, so we got blue for the TP5 and green for the Titleist. I hit the Titleist 7-irons like absolute garbage, which is why you see my dispersion. It's a nice little pattern, but it's like 15, 20 yards left, right? Like we had some serious issues with our Pro Vs. The dispersion pattern with the TP5, much better. And I think we started to find our groove, started to find our swing a little bit. What's interesting here is I was hitting the Pro V1 higher just by looking at it, at least the higher arcs here are actually the Pro Vs. I did not hit them good. So this one, I think the results are going to be a little bit of a mixed bag. The TP5 felt really good with a 7-iron. I can't lie. But let's look at let's look at the numbers here. So this is the fun part. All right. So interesting. So yeah, we're hitting the Pro V1s higher off the face with the launch. So that has nothing to do with the spin. Ball speed, we had 1 more mile an hour on the Pro V compared to the TP5 at 129 to 128. Again, launched at 1 degree higher. Spin, there you go, it's 300 higher with the TP5, right? And we had a lot more side spin on the Pro V. We were really hitting some, I wouldn't even call them draws with the 7-iron. We were hitting some hooks, okay? 3 extra yards of carry with the Pro V1, okay? Rollout was about the same. Descent angle 1 degree higher on the Pro V matches our 1 degree higher on the launch, okay? Again, a good thing here is at the very least, looking at the club head speed, the average was 97 for both clubs, right? So in terms of now the strikes with the Pro V, they weren't bad strikes. They were just, I was off playing a little bit, right? Like we had a shut club face. Smash factor was 1 higher with the Pro V. So the Pro V, in terms of, if you're just looking at numbers in terms of performance, I think a slight edge to the Pro V. Is there that much of a difference? I would argue no. Like they're very similar here. Either one of them is good. And if you're talking about dispersion, my dispersion was tighter with the TP5. Like I definitely hit better shots with the TP5 here. The one that I am curious to look at here when we go to the next set of clubs, the 5-iron, I would say for both clubs or both golf balls, I think we hit them both very well. And this is one where I honestly think that the TP5 will outperform the Pro V. I think in terms of long irons, you're going to see a nice little pattern here with the TP5, right? Oops, let me get rid of that one up here. And we'll go down and take a look at our 5 irons. Don't cheat and look at the numbers here. So we've got yellow for the Pro V, pink for the TP5. Okay. All right. So the dispersion for the TP5 was amazing. And if I'm just looking at it, it looks like we've got a little bit steeper of a descent for the TP5, which I would expect because there should be a little bit more spin on that golf ball. The dispersion for the TP5, I mean, we hit some incredible shots. And again, the golf ball felt really, really good off the face. Like it was a nice little click. It wasn't too soft, but it still felt like, it felt like you got some good compression on it. I would not be surprised to see higher ball speed with the TP5 compared to the Pro V here when we're looking at the 5 iron. All right, so let's look at some numbers. Yeah, so in terms of, look at that first column here. You see the score column on the left? That shows you that we hit the ball really good with the 5 iron. SkyTrak has had us at a 65. So that's like, if you were to hit this club and like under all these different conditions, like that would be relative to par, like 7 under par is what we'd be shooting or, you know, averaging with this club. All right, so I was incorrect. The ball speed was still higher with the Pro V, right? So at 139 with the Pro V. Now, we'll get to why here in a second. Launch angle 1 degree lower with the Pro V. And here's what's interesting is the spin actually starts to level out, right? So you've got 5,000 and 5,100, almost 5,200 for the TP5, right? So not that big of a difference. Like the gap really starts to get smaller, which it should when you get to the longer clubs, right? You're producing a lot less spin on it. Rollout was the same. Carry distance, we got 3 extra yards with the Pro V1. Again, like, do I care if I carry at 210 versus 207? Absolutely not. Like, that doesn't matter. Height-wise, they're about the same. The club head speed, we were one higher with the Pro V1, which is most likely why we're seeing 1 mile an hour extra on our ball speed, right? So the smash factor, again, 136, 136. So in terms of golf ball performance, I don't think there's much of a difference, right? And I think if you rewind 10, 15 years ago, I think we would have seen a significant difference between a Pro V1 and a TP5. But I'm actually very, very impressed with the performance of the TP5 here. And that's coming from somebody who's played Titleist for the last, 21 years of my life. So that's actually really, really encouraging. All of those numbers with the TP5 there look immaculate, right? Like those are very, very good numbers. And in terms of our average offline, like we're technically closer to the line with the TP5. Again, you could put this as a toss-up. In all honesty, I think the TP5 probably felt a little bit better with the 5 iron. And with that 200 extra spin, when you're hitting it into a green from 205, it will make a difference, right? Like it absolutely will make a difference in terms of how that golf ball sits on the green. In terms of the descent angle, they're actually both identical here. We hit the TP5 again, like just 1 yard higher, so 3 feet higher. I mean, that's not big of enough of a difference to make any sort of real massive performance jump. I mean, the golf balls were almost identical. Now we get to go to our adventure club. Next time I might hit the drivers earlier in the test.
I think that's one thing that I'm learning here is I'm a little tired when we get to balls 60 through 80 in our test. All right, so Pro V1 white, Taylormade orange. It's not, I mean, in terms of the distance, consistently further with the Pro V1, maybe, not by much. Both dispersion patterns are a little bit too wide, and that's a me problem. What's interesting though is the ball flight is actually lower with the, at least on the lower end with those TP5s. I think it was those last couple that we hit. I think we flighted down a little bit better and hit really, really solid. But let's take a look at some of the numbers. In terms of the graph there, I don't think I hit the drivers consistent enough to be able to give you anything in that regard. But we might see something here in terms of ball speed, spin, and smash. I think we will see a difference in spin. And I'm wrong. I am wrong. Fuck. So now when you look at those numbers, this is actually, I mean, this is almost comical. And at least I'm consistent, right? So through all of these 20 golf balls, there's almost no difference at all here, like across the board, which is really, really interesting. Ball speed, 172 to 172, bang on even, right? Average spin, 2495, 2423, technically lower with the TP5. I think those last two definitely helped the cause. Actually, really the last or the ninth ball there. But in terms of the highest spin that we saw, okay? So with the TP5, we saw what? We saw back, or I guess the first three were at 3,500 spin, okay? And we did throw one out that was 4,100. With the Pro V, the highest we got was 3,300, okay? So on a miss hit, when we hit it a little bit low on the groove, we were producing more spin with the TP5, right? And that's not to be, like that's not a big surprise there, right? Like it is a spinnier golf ball. That's always my concern, at least for my game personally, when I'm hitting a more firm golf ball versus a softer golf ball like the TP5. With my fairway woods, if I miss-hit it and I hit it a groove low, I feel like with the Pro V1, it doesn't get away from me as much, right, in terms of the spin. Whereas like when I miss a TP5, or I hit a couple Strixons when I was out on my trip in California, when I missed it, it felt just not good, right? But in terms of the overall golf ball performance here, the only difference, so it's a 3-yard difference in carry. The 3-yard difference is the launch angle, right? So like you can throw that out the window here. Like we were launching it 1 degree higher with the Pro V1, which is why it carried 3 yards further, right? Like that's, and again, 3-yard difference with a driver at this distance is nothing. Like that is completely negligible, right? The total was 1 yard further. Nothing, right? That is apples to apples. The smash factors were identical at 149. Swing speed average is 116 for both clubs. Ball speed was 172. So all in all, I think the only place, and when you get up to the higher clubs, I think they perform almost identically, right? With the lower clubs, we were definitely seeing more spin with the TP5 compared to the Pro V1. Now, for me personally, I think that's too much spin. I think I get a little bit in trouble, especially when you're hitting into the wind, or if you've got a pin in the back of the green, right? Like it's difficult to get those close when you have that much spin because it will come back, which is why I've historically played the Pro V1. But in all honesty, guys, I am extremely impressed with the TP5. In terms of its feel, I dare to say it even felt better than the Pro V1. like off the face. Like it felt really, really good to hit those golf balls. Like it was a very satisfying feel when you compress the golf ball. I'm really excited. I want to do more of these. I did buy some Callaways in the pro shop when I went to the range last week. So I'm probably going to do Callaway next. Then what I want to do is I've got some golf balls laying around that I want to test that I don't think are going to perform as well as these top end tour balls, right? So I would think that the Pro V1, the TP5, the what is it, the Chrome Soft or the Chrome Tour, whatever the heck those things are, I can't remember the name of them, the Callaways. I think you're going to see like a fairly consistent result. What I would like to do is, obviously there's some budget balls out there, and I wouldn't say that they're budget golf balls, not to knock them at all. But like something like a Kirkland, right? Something that you can pick up for much cheaper than what you can a Pro V1 or a TP5. Top Flight. I might have to do Top Flight. The only problem with Top Flight is I feel like I'm gonna break my freaking driver, Zajac. It's like hitting a rock. And a noodle. I should get a noodle in there too, right? While I'm at it. I could do that. I could do like a low-end golf ball test too. That would be fun. But the two that I'm really curious to try, which you don't see a lot of when you're, I think the only company that does it really, really well is My Golf Spy. I actually really love their data. I pay attention to it. All of their publications I read almost like the Bible, because I think they are a very unbiased company. But I would like to do the Kirkland, and I would like to do Vice, right? So two golf balls that you can get, especially when you buy them at bulk, much cheaper than you can a Pro V1, TP5, or the Callaway Tour Ball, right? So that's something that I would be somewhat curious to see how it stacks up compared to this, right? Because like the TP5, Pro V1X, even the AVX, like they've been pretty similar across the board, which is a good thing, right? Like when you're buying a really nice golf ball like those, you would expect good numbers and consistent results, which I think we get with all of those, right? So that's the end of my golf ball test. So I appreciate everybody who came in to stop in and see that. I'm gonna go put my iron game to the test. I think I'm gonna play the TP5s. So we're gonna try the TP5s here. We're gonna go play a par 3 course. We're gonna play Spanish Bay from the par 3 tees, okay? Now, we will be hitting some wedges there. So I'm curious to see what the spin numbers are with the TP5, okay? So let's go ahead and switch up our scene here. Go to the range. And one thing I will say too, guys, is just like the Titleist golf ball test, I will take the results. I will put them up into a Google Doc, so that way you guys can look at them. You guys can take a look at all the outliers, etc. You can, I don't think you're gonna be able to remove them, but if you wanted to export that data, throw it into a spreadsheet and see like what it looks like without all the junk or some of the mishits, you can. And I think that's one of the real nice, sorry, I'm like talking way too close here. I think that is one of the really nice benefits of having something like a SkyTrak at home, is being able to have all of this data right at your fingertips, right? Like if you're just hitting a golf ball on the range, it's really hard to see where that golf ball is landing yardage wise, right? And you're hitting range balls. They're not great. And when you go to a public golf course, you know, it's the range balls suck, right? Let's be real. They're not good, and you don't get the performance or anything like that. So we are going to play Spanish Bay here. Let me set it up. We're going to play the full 18. Oh, do we have expert? We got extreme pins. We're going extreme pins. And then the tees here, we will go par 3 and go from there. But so like when you're able to hit golf balls at home on a simulator and have all of this data, it's so freaking cool, man. Like it's so sick that you can do that. But now we get to see how the TP5 does with some wedges. Okay. I'm willing to bet that we spin these puppies at like 11,000, almost 12,000 for a full wedge. Okay? So here we go, guys. We're going to play the par 3 tees at Spanish Bay using the TP5, right? So let's get it. Let's get it. So 132 yards, plays 130. I kind of like a little knockdown pitching wedge, right? We're going to flight this one down a little bit. So it's cool. I was on my third monitor today when I was sitting there. I was looking at Grant Horvat's latest video, and what was cool about it is that is a golf course I've played like 20 to 30 times. They're playing River's Edge down in Charlotte, North Carolina, where I was on mini tours, and I was playing on it was the old Hooters tour at the time. I was based out of Charlotte, and so I played River's Edge probably like 25, 30 times while I was down there. So it was cool to see those guys play a course that I've played over and over. So we're going a little knockdown pitching wedge here from 132. Let's try and go low here. That was a pretty good strike of the golf ball. God bless, I did not miss by much there. Shit, I got a chip. I don't want a chip tonight. I don't want a chip. I'm playing the par 3 course, I shouldn't be chipping. I mean, to be fair, I missed by 9 feet. Like, it's not that big of a deal. But let's see if we can't chip one in here. Get under par on the first. It's just a delicate little touch shot, though. Okay. Par on the first. Again, what we had I think we had 9,000 spin on that approach shot. So let's see. It's a good strike. I think I can, depending on if it's downhill or uphill here, it looks uphill to me. Yeah, it plays 107. So this is where I think we're going to see a little bit too much spin. Okay. So 107, this is a firm 54 degree. And I'm curious to see the spin numbers. Right, so normally we're about 10,000 with a Pro V1. Let's see what we do with a TP5. Let it leak a little bit. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. What's our spin number? 11,000, which is not surprising. Yeah, I did leave the club face open a little bit though. So that one's on me. Looks like we're gonna have about a very similar shot here. All right, so it plays 114. I'm actually going to saw off a 50 degree here. Try and flight one down. All right, so we're going to hit a little flighted 50 degree here to that back pin. So we're going to try and have less spin on it than normal, but with a little driver. Okay. Pretty good strike of the golf ball. Yeah, pretty good result too. A little bit short, but and we controlled the spin nicely, 9,000. Not a bad swing. Not a great swing, but not a bad swing. Okay, 123, pin in the back. So there we go, 142. This should be based off of our test, this should be a full pitching wedge, okay? So we're gonna hit full pitching wedge. And I am kind of curious at how much we tear up this golf ball, hitting all these short irons in. Sure, we got our pitching wedge, we got our pitching wedge. Let's let it rip. Get this one all the way back there. Try and hit one tight here. That is a really nice swing. But there's that spin. Yes, Drew. I'll give you my little pitch here. So I played college golf. I played on the mini tours. I think it does a very, very good job. I think it's very consistent. I mean, will you have some reads that are off? Yes. Do you have reads that are off with everything? Sure. And it depends on what you're looking to spend, right? If you have a budget that's $30,000, go ahead and get yourself a TrackMan. I personally don't have $30,000 lying around for a unit at home. So I went with the SkyTrak. I did a ton of research on it, and I have been very, very happy with the SkyTrak. There are some things that I had to dial in, like my lighting. I'm in a garage with a lot of shadows and things that are coming down off the ceiling. Since I got that addressed, this thing has been bang on for me. I love it. The best part is I get to play golf year round in my garage, even when I got 2 feet of snow outside. Has my golf game improved? I think it has. I went and played I did a guy's trip out to California. And what I saw there was pretty darn accurate compared to what I see on my computer here at home. Yeah, I think the graphics are great. They've got 2 different course play packages. They've got the TrackMan and the Foresight. I personally prefer the TrackMan ones. I think the courses look visually much, much better. But there's some awesome tracks on the Foresight. So I got both just because I wanted a variety of golf courses to play. Some of the courses that I've played in real life are on the Foresight package, so I like that. But yeah, I think for me, man, it's awesome. I love this thing. You know, if you read stuff on the forums, people are going to say X and Y, and everybody's got their opinion. In terms of like a golf unit at home, for this price, I don't know if you can beat it, to be completely honest with you. I think it does a very, very good job. And in terms of the ball flight and what you see here, I think when you transition to outdoors is bang on, right? So here we go. We got 122 yards. I'm going to hit a full 50 degree and try with a smidge of draw. Kind of like that. Now what's our spin going to be like? Probably too much. There it goes. And this is why we play Pro Vs. It's 10,000, so there's got to be a ridge there. Strike was good, but 8 yards of spin, granted that's probably my fault to be perfectly honest, but all right. Ooh, perfect. This is the first one we've seen where it's a little bit shorter. So this is one, honestly, where I think you're probably hitting the TP5 is probably an advantage for us because we get that extra spin. So I can let this one rip and still attack a front pin. So we're gonna go with a 58 with a lot of spin and see if we can't get this puppy close. I hit it too hard. It was a really good strike. I love the fact that we drove it in there nice and low. Drove it in there low with a lot of spin. Feels like cheating though, say Jack. I kind of like to be horrifyingly surprised when the ball lands. But you are right. Let's do this. Let's go to the green. You're right. And I think you give me a gentle reminder of this all the time. So short right's going to fall off. And we got probably about like what, 5-6 yards left of the pin. You are correct in saying that, sir. One of these days, you and I are going to have to hop into like a Discord call, and you're going to have to give me a tutorial on hotkeys. And I need to set some up, because I do find myself where I'm just like clicking through everything. All right, we're going to go a little knockdown pitching wedge here. Should be a perfect club for it. Should be relatively full, just a little bit off of it. We're choking down about 1 inch. I think we hit that one left. Maybe? No, it's looking pretty good. Really good. Is that not going to give me the gimme? Oh, it did, okay. So let's say 411. Give me that gimme. That was a good strike. That was a good strike. See, it only took us 80 golf balls on the range for us to sort our lives out. 111. Okay, so press K. All right, let's hit K. Oh, ho, 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 ho. That's sick. All right, so green view is V. V and G are what we're looking for. I like that M key too, that's nice. So V and G. Oh man, that is beautiful. Thank you, sir. Okay. So, left here is no bueno. That is a tiny little ridge that we are hitting our ball up to there. All right, so let's go. I'll tell you what, guys. Man, if I'm being honest with you, the TP5 actually holds up better than the cover of the Pro V. All right. So, gonna hit a high, make sure I got the right club, 54 degree here with a lot of spin. I'm trying to throw this about 2-3 yards beyond it with some spin. Okay? 2-3 yards behind it with some spin. I might be playing TP5 on the sim, if I'm being honest with you guys. So here we go. Oh, I think it's left. Fudge. I pulled it. I'm going to get that slope. God damn it. I was left of the slope. I was left of the slope. I just pulled it. Hit it good, just too much of that left stuff. Okay. All right, 90 yards. See how quick of a learner I am. Oh, you can do it while it's in midair too. Oh, Jesus. I mean, when you say extreme pins, you're not kidding. So that is on a skinny little ridge. Anything left is gone. Anything right will definitely filter back towards the front. 90 yards is what it's playing like. We're going to hit a 58 degree. Just right of it. Very similar shot to what we hit on the one a couple holes ago. Going to try and hit it with a lot of spin and stop it on a dime. This is about a 85% shot. I left it out right. God bless. Well, that's not going to go in. But again, 20 feet's not going to kill you. 20 feet's not going to kill you. Okay. Little high. Little face open. What were we? I don't even know what we were. Under par, over par. A couple under maybe. Yeah, 2 under par. Okay. So. All right. So it looks like you miss anywhere here, you're dead. That is on a, Jesus. These extreme pins are nasty. Ooh. Which one, SkyTrak or SkyTrak? TrackMan or the Foresight course? I just think the freaking TrackMan courses are so sick. All right, so we're gonna go with a little sawed-off 54 here. I think it's probably too much club or too much of an ass to hit a 58. So we're gonna go with a little driving 54 here. Something like that. Boy, that felt good. Stay up there. Foresight. Ooh, ooh. All right. I like that. I like that swing, by the way. That one felt really good. That was a nicely executed shot there. A nice low one, too. Those are fun to hit with wedge. 133 all the way in the back. This is going to be a knockdown pitching wedge yet again. Okay, let's take a look. Actually, it's in a little bit of a bowl. If there's a time. Yeah, no, so the dynamic loft isn't there. So this is, it's an interesting point and an interesting conversation piece, Drew, because why I bought the sim wasn't necessarily for course play. I play like 20 or 36 to 54 holes a night when I come out here, but I'm really working on my golf swing. So I kind of want to see a consistent number and hitting off side slopes, and that's why you don't see me play with wind. I don't like playing with the wind on the sim. I like just to see what my golf ball does, right? Because it is nice to see your numbers sort of in a bubble, right? So I can't really blame it on a different variable. It's like, if I hit a poor shot, it is a me problem. All right, we got a knockdown pitching wedge here, 133. We've seen this shot before, and we've hit this shot good tonight, so let's continue that trend. I think she's left, or it's right at it. Nope, I missed it. I'm gonna, oh, sugar. Didn't hit it hard enough. Didn't hit it hard enough. I think maybe a groove high on that one. Yeah. You haven't seen me hit driver yet, Drew. I play a draw. I always start the ball right at the target and draw it. So like even when I play on a course, like I'm typically a little bit shut, and that's just because, and that's the thing, it's not even like, it's not like a normal draw where it starts right at the target and goes left. Like it's not a pro draw. It's more of a draw that starts like maybe a hair right and ends up left of the target, right? Which is why, depending on my club is, you know, where I set up for it. But normally, like for me, it's like 1 or 2 clicks of the right arrow key here, right? So like 2 to 3 yards with a wedge. And then if there's any wind, I play a little bit more. Driver, I play down the right-hand side and rip a draw. So this is playing what, 106. I've got that easy 54 again. Let's see if we can't drive one in there close before I get chastised by Zajac. Let's take a look at the green. I had a feeling there was a massive slope to the left. So left is toast, right is much safer. That's great with my left miss. So here, if I'm playing in a tournament, Drew, I am trying to jar everything on this. If I was playing in a tournament, I would actually go like another 2 yards right. Because if you miss it right, you're not going to be more than 20, 30 feet. But if I miss left, I've got the opportunity of rolling all the way down that slope. But we're going to try and get it close here and just hit a better shot than that. So a little 54 here. That is not good. That's high off the face, and we pulled it. God bless, miss a freaking green from 104. And that one was just a bad strike of the golf ball. Bad strike of the golf ball, guys. What kind of marking is that on there? What the fuck? How do you even get that color? Where is that color coming from? Oh well, it's probably dirt in between my club and whatever. All right, try and chip one in. 8 yards, we definitely got a chance. So let's see. And what's cool about it, Drew, so there's actually a community-run golf tour that I play on every single week. And so you can play 18 holes on the Foresight package, 18 holes on the TrackMan package. There's flights by handicap. It's run by guys that are super passionate about it. It's just fun to be able to compete on a week in, week out basis. Definitely less guys playing now since the weather's getting nicer and folks are probably going outside. That pin is gross. But that's been one of my favorite parts too, right? So when I go out and play on the course, there's something to it. Jesus. First of all, tiny green. Second of all, terrible pin. That's like a greenskeeper revenge pin. There's zero wiggle room anywhere around that puppy. And what is it playing? It's 126, which is a rotten number. The only chance we have of getting this close is to absolutely annihilate a 50 degree, and I got to play a draw starting it off of the green. So I'm going to hit a full 50. I got to hit this perfect. The problem here is if I hit it perfect, it's going to have a lot of spin. It's probably going to come back off the front. So let's see what we can do. Okay, full 50 degree. Got to hit it perfect to get it all the way back there. I hit it damn good. If that doesn't get there, I can't get it there with this club. I can't get it there with this club, and here comes the spin off the green. Sugar. Yep. Well, you all did go and find another set of tees at French Lick for me, so I wouldn't put it past you. Some of these extreme pins are just nasty. Some of these, I mean, if you're playing this from the tips, I could not imagine what the extreme pins are. What I should do is one thing that I would like to do, and I might do this like later in the summer, is I'll take like a tour course where they play an event, and I will do progressively harder pins as I go throughout the rounds and see what I shoot compared to tour guys. I think that would be a fun event too. But I would like to do, I think next week we'll do another break 50, where we'll try and break 50 again. I need a suggestion on a course for that. I almost want to do Albany. I don't think that's any good. No, that was not good. Sitting there thinking about my next break 50. But I don't know if Albany is a good course for the break 50 because green-wise it gets a little bit, some tougher greens there. That pin does not look like it's very much on the green. 108. I think this is going to be a 54 degree. And I have a feeling that is a red slope right of it. Oh, it's not. So it barely falls off there. Port Huron would be good. It's just, I don't know if Port Huron's going to get the people going. You know what I mean? Like, it's not as exciting of a course. You know what I mean? I agree with you. I think it's absolutely achievable to break 50 at Port Huron. Am I thinking of Port Huron or am I thinking of another one? There's two courses I'm thinking of up there. I can't remember. I'll tell you what, though, with the 4-wood in play, though, I think we'd be good. I think you missed it, Zajac, at the beginning. I was hitting some balls on the range, and I was ripping my 5-wood. I was like, oh, shit. Like, I've got some massive numbers here. I was going like 290. I was like, that's probably closer to what I would expect to see on the course. But my 6-iron, this is where I knew something was off. My 6-iron was carrying like 225, and I'm like, that's not right. Like, that's juiced. And elevation was still from that last challenge that I did, was still up through the roof. So that would be why the golf ball was flying another 30 yards further than it should have. All right, full smooth 54 here. Oh, that is 30 yards short because we chunked the shit out of it. I'm getting lazy with my swings. At least it's on the surface, but that's a bad swing. That's a bad swing. St. Andrews, I think, would be great. St. Andrews, you have some opportunities for fireworks, without a doubt. 121 pin in the back, that's got to be a pitching wedge. Got to. Yeah, 129 plays like. This is going to be our knockdown pitching wedge yet again, guys. This is some good wedge work for us. Let's get one close. Stuff a little knockdown pitching wedge in there. Let's make birdie on this one. That's not going to be good. We had the number, but we most certainly shut the club face hard, and it started 2 degrees left, which is no bueno when that pin's tucked on the left. All right, so this is our first little mini flop of the night. Let's see if we can't get under it with some good spin. We got slope behind it running away, so not much wiggle room here. Got to hit this puppy nice and short. Here we go. Oh, that's terrible. There it goes. It's honestly very fortunate that it stayed there. That was we used the bounce of our club there. Let's put it that way. Okay? We most certainly used the bounce of our club there. I didn't want to. Okay? We hit the big ball first. .124. Unfortunately, what I have learned is I cannot hit a 50 degree that far. Okay? Oh man, these poor suckers at work going through it right now. We got software issues at work, Zajac. And folks are still looking. Let me look at the screen here. And it is a nasty one, and that is a nasty pin too. Right on top of a ridge, sloping away either direction.
Gotta be perfect. Gotta be perfect. Here we go, a little pitching wedge knockdown again. That's left. Yet again, we tugged it. We're getting lazy with our swings, guys. We're getting lazy with our swings. And that's okay. Late in the night. It's still a green in regulation, but it's actually a 3-putt. Actually, my mat's sliding. That's probably part of my issue here. Oh, that pin. 143. This is a full pitching wedge, which is nice. I'm not even going to look at the green. There's nothing I can do about it. We just got to hit a perfect pitching wedge. This is the right club. And let's get one close. So full pitching wedge here, guys. Let's knock one tight. That's right. Oh, I pushed it. I'm dead. And we did not hit that hard enough. Came up and out of it. A lot of things to say about that golf shot. And that is not a fun up and down. What does that say? High rough. High rough. I haven't seen a high rough lie. We're not supposed to with wedge in our hand, but here we are. So we've got to hit this one a little bit harder because of the high rough. So play it like, what, 16, 17 yards? So let's hit a little flop shot up there. Ooh, that's got some spin on it. That was a crafty little shot. It said 1100 spin. It must have been because of the lie, right? There's no way that it actually read 1100 spin from me. Because I ripped that golf ball. What is a bug? What is a bug? All right, so we got slope right, somewhat of a slope to the left, but not as much. I'm actually going to go opposite here, guys. I'm going to try and work a fade in there with a 50, hit it high. Okay. Don't worry about it. Was it the spin? If it's the spin, then I noticed it on the shot. So we're going to try and hit a cut here with a 50 degree. That ball ain't cutting. It's going to have heaps of spin on it. Oh, how's that not on the green? Yeah, 11,000 on the spin. I just didn't get let the toe kind of flip on me. It's problematic for what we were trying to achieve. Oh, this is 18. Sugar. Well, I didn't light it up. I started out really nice and I kind of faded, which makes sense. We're at a couple hundred shots on, or like 130 shots on the night. Little 11-yard pitch. Let's see if we can't walk it off with a chip in. Oh, it's a pretty good chip. So not bad. Not bad. That was a fun night. I enjoyed it. I got to hit a new golf ball, which I am pleasantly surprised at. I shouldn't say surprised. How it feels, I was surprised. I think it exceeded my expectations in terms of the feel of the golf ball. I really enjoyed that, guys. I hope you guys did too. Next week I'll try and cut the video so it breaks it all down. We skip all the fluff of me struggling to hit 80 shots in a row.
get the data out there. I'll load up the data as part of the video too. But yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. I really enjoyed hitting the TP5. I'm looking forward to hitting the Callaway next. It should be good. And then it would be nice to sort of bring it all together and just do like a mass golf ball comparison. Especially since we're gonna have all the data on the Pro V from these different range sessions. So I enjoyed it, guys. I hope you have a great rest of your night. Wednesday, depending on the courses, I may or may not do the practice rounds. It depends on where we're playing. Practice rounds don't do me any good, I'll be perfectly honest. I might do a break 50 on Wednesday, who knows? So we'll see what happens, all right? Guys, have a fantastic rest of your Monday. I will see you guys on Wednesday. I'm hoping I'm gonna get back into my office and try and edit the rest of my Classic Club video from Palm Springs. I'll see if I can get it out by tomorrow. But I need to learn from my lessons from last week, and I need to sleep. Because I am playing golf tomorrow, and I'm taking the GoPro. If I get paired with some random people, I probably won't bring out the GoPro. But if I'm playing by myself, it's another round for the channel. So I'm gonna bring both golf balls too. I'll bring the TP5s and the Pro Vs. So we'll get to see those side by side on the course, hopefully. So I appreciate it, guys. Y'all have a great night. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. If you're not subscribed and you want to come back and see when we do more of these challenges, more of these equipment tests, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If not, I still hope to see you guys around next time we stream. So y'all take it easy, have a good night, and hopefully see you guys on Wednesday.